I'm glad you've drawn my attention to the return of the learned Deputy Attorney General. I raised something here yesterday, and you asked me to raise it in the presence of the Attorney General. Yesterday, I did lay two rulings regarding two particular prisoners. One, Anthony Agaba versus the state, is also known as Bobi Yang. Another, Yasin Sechitoleko, also known as Machete versus the state. They applied for bail in the High Court. And court said, look, you are not properly before us. Why? Because your matters have not been transferred from the military courts to the civilian courts as per the ruling of the Supreme Court on 31st January of this year. Now, these people are in limbo. They are in abeyance, and that's problematic for justice because the DPP has not preferred formally charges so that the High Court then takes over. So High Court is saying, we don't know you people. Meanwhile, the military court is funked as official because the Supreme Court said transfer all those files. So we would like to know what exactly is happening. Where do these people go? Because they cannot go back to the military court, which is funked as official. The High Court, which they are running to, is saying, we don't know you. You have not been brought before us formally. And so they are stuck. It's now coming to, 3/4 of the year. What should they do? And I'm saying that in light of now the DPP has even been promoted to principal judge. Hopefully, there will be another DPP soon. What should they do? Maybe guide us, because they keep asking us and their lawyers. We don't know what to tell them. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, now that Doug is here, he could respond to this as well. We passed the Political Parties and Organizations Amendment Act here. It was passed by this House. Many of us were, of course, bothered by the process. Stakeholder engagement did not happen as should have. But you see, that law is now law. Even as we challenge it in court, wherever and so on, it is existing law until we see what court does say. So that law created two, you can call them departments. One for parties that have no representation in Parliament, the other for parties which are represented here in this House, and they called it iPod. So by virtue of law, we are all conscripted into iPod. We are there by force. That's the law anyway, as it is now, until whatever gets to happen to it. Now, the Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General was meant to bring regulations, of course in consultation with the stakeholders, including us, who are in iPod by force, because that's the law now. The regulations have not happened. We have not been consulted. And yet we hear there is a lot that's happening. There is meant to be an MOU. That MOU is meant to be done in consultation with all the stakeholders. And then the stakeholders are reached out to look at the regulations, to look at the MOU, and either sign or not sign. But that has not happened yet. We don't know if things are happening secretly, because by virtue of law, we are now there by conscription, by force, if you like. What's happening? Will those regulations come? Will that MOU draft be given to the stakeholders so that we look at it and see, is this something we want to be part of? Because you see, we can all be part of something by conscription, but then all stakeholders need to know, okay, what are these regulations saying? Are we okay with them? Are we okay with this MOU? And then we choose to sign or not to sign, but we hear a lot is happening surreptitiously, and even this House, which passed the law, is waiting for those regulations that are meant to give effect to that law. It has not happened. Stakeholders are in the dark. Learned Attorney General, please offer some guidance.
Thank you. Thank you.
My brother Ssenyonyi today is shooting on all cylinders. One, the leader of opposition, you've made a reference to a ruling that you tabled yesterday, which I've not yet had the privilege of looking at. But be that as it may, yes, the Supreme Court made a decision, and I have stood on the floor of Parliament before and told you that there are processes ongoing, and I do understand that they may not have moved at the pace that you require them to. But I did pledge here when my brother from Kasese raised the issue of SG. I said, these files are moving, give us time. The office of the DPP is working. We pledged as government, as a ministry, because we are bound by the decision of the Supreme Court. We will meet it. Just give us time. On the issue of iPod, we are working on the regulations. Give us the necessary time. They will come. I beg
Thank you. Next.
If you could offer some further clarification, because you see, each time you have raised here on the floor, you have said, give us time. It's coming to a year. These people are in jail. In fact, one can even say illegally, because the court which sent them to jail has no jurisdiction over them, the military court. And now the High Court cannot receive them. How much time? So that they know, how they plan. I don't know if you've been in jail. I know you have been in the opposition before. I don't know if at that time they did incarcerate you. But for those who have been to jail and you do not know your fate, it's problematic. These people are requesting to know at least a bit of an idea of time. And finally, Honorable Speaker, on the question of iPod, because you've also said give a bit of time, maybe that should also be clarified, because we hear a lot is happening surreptitiously. We've seen some people signing MOUs, and we're saying as stakeholders...
Which people?
We did see a political party...
As a leader, tell us, we've seen DP,
the President and Secretary General of our colleague party, the Forum for Democratic Change, went and signed an MOU. It was in the media and so on, which is okay. That's actually not the issue. The point is, can that be shared with all stakeholders? So that stakeholders look at it and say, okay, I am happy to sign this or not. But you see, you've not given people an opportunity to know what is in this MOU, what's in the regulations. Because as we speak today, iPod is no longer an NGO like it was. It is now a law in place. And we are all in it by conscription, by force. So we are saying, let's look at those regulations and the MOU. Then we determine, can we sign, can we not?
Honorable members, iPod has...
So much, Right Honorable Speaker. Before I table the bill, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to join the rest who have congratulated you for having attained the highest position within our arrangement and our mighty party NRM. Right Honorable Speaker, again, allow me to congratulate your parents for the humble bringing up that has made you to achieve what you have achieved so far. And we expect more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a certificate of financial implication?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to move that the bill entitled the National Drugs and Health Products Authority Bill 2025 be read the first time, and the certificate of financial implication is here attached. I beg to lay both the bill and